Hello, everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wondered how buildings stay up or how your favorite video game characters are designed? Well, the secret is all about shapes. Today, we're going to jump into the world of geometry, where we'll discover all the secrets of shapes and lines. Are you ready? Let's get started. So first things first, we have to ask the big question. What exactly is geometry? It sounds like a big word, but what does it really mean? Have a little think about it. It's actually pretty simple. Geometry is all about shapes and lines. That's it. It's how we understand everything we see and draw, from a little tiny dot on a page to a huge, tall building. Okay, talking about it is one thing, but the best way to really understand geometry is to just dive in and explore some shapes. So let's go on an adventure and meet some of the main characters in the world of shapes. So, in the world of shapes, there are kind of two main groups. First up, we're going to talk about flat shapes. You can think of these as the shapes you draw in a notebook, the ones that lie completely flat on the paper. Now, to draw a flat shape, you need a flat surface, right? Well, in geometry, we have a special name for that flat surface. We call it a plane. So, a piece of paper or maybe a whiteboard, you can think of those as a plane. Hey, I bet you already know some of these. Take a look. We've got this square, and the pointy triangle, and of course, the perfectly round circle. You've seen all of these before, for sure. Okay, to learn a bit more, let's zoom in on just one of these shapes. Let's focus on this red square. We're going to investigate it a little, like detectives. All right, first question. Let's count together. How many sides does this square have? Remember, a side is one of the straight lines that makes up the shape. That's it. It has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 straight sides. Great job! Okay, you ready for the next question? How many corners does a square have? A corner is that point where 2 of the sides meet. And in geometry, we have another word for corners. We also call them angles. You got it again. 4 corners. Perfect. So we know it has 4 sides and 4 corners. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because knowing this is like having a secret code to unlock even cooler geometry words. You ready for a really cool new word? Any flat shape that has 4 sides and 4 corners is called a quadrilateral. So our friend the square, it's part of the quadrilateral family. So we've learned about flat shapes. Now let's meet the other group, solid shapes. These are the shapes that are not flat. You can actually pick them up and hold them in your hand. One of the biggest differences to remember is that solid shapes usually have more sides and more corners than flat shapes. They're a little more complex. Here are a few famous solid shapes. Can you name them? We've got a cube, a pyramid, and a sphere. A sphere, like a basketball, is pretty special because it has no flat sides and no corners at all. And this table here really shows you the difference. Look. A flat square has 4 sides and 4 corners, but a solid cube, which is actually made out of squares, has 6 sides, we often call them faces, and it has 8 corners. See? It has more. Okay, it's time for another awesome geometry word. If a solid shape has flat sides, like a cube or a pyramid, it's called a polyhedra. It's another special family name for these kinds of shapes. So let's try using that new word. Think back to the cube we just saw. Does it have flat sides? Yes, it does. So, is a cube a polyhedra? Yes, it is. You're getting the hang of this. Wow, you've learned so much about flat shapes and solid shapes. So for our last section, let's have a little fun and solve a puzzle using everything we've talked about. Okay, puzzle time. Look at all the different shapes on the screen. Here's the challenge. Which 2 shapes can you put together to make a totally new shape? A rectangle. Before you answer, here's a little hint. A rectangle is a flat shape. So to make it, are you going to need flat shapes or solid shapes? Did you get it? The answer is you need flat shapes. And if you take 2 of those flat triangles and you join them along their longest side, look at that. You've made a perfect rectangle. Awesome. And there you have it. From a simple line to a giant building, geometry really is everywhere you look. So the next time you see a soccer ball, or a box, or even a slice of pizza, you'll know the secret language of its shapes. Keep looking around, keep being curious, and always remember, geometry is a blast. Thanks for exploring with me today.